Welcome back to Jurassic Park Minute. Jurassic Park Minute is the fan podcast that chronicles and overanalyzes the classic 1993 film Jurassic Park minute by minute. I'm Kyle.
I'm Brady.
And today we're here to bring you minute number 7, a midweek episode. Brady, how are you doing today?
Doing great. How about you?
Doing pretty good. We are back in the desert at the dig site for minute number 7. We're out here where it's hot and sweaty, and we're getting ready to bring you another episode of Jurassic Park Minute. I don't know. That all rhymed. Kind of, right?
It did. It works.
Okay.
Let's go with it.
Let's go with it. Hey, well, you ready to go ahead and get into minute number 7?
Yeah.
Let's do it. In the previous minute, we saw Alan Grant and his dinosaur dig site. His team was learning about a new process of finding fossilized dinosaurs that would eliminate half of the excavation process. Grant was less than impressed by this new system. At minute number 7, the computer technician exclaims, "In a few more years, we won't even have to dig anymore." Grant responds, "Well, where's the fun in that?" At 7 minutes, 16 seconds, Grant confirms that the skeleton is indeed a velociraptor. At 7 minutes, 20 seconds, the computer glitches when Grant touches the screen. At 7 minutes, 30 seconds, Grant makes his signature observation that dinosaurs undoubtedly evolved into birds. His remark is met with laughter. At 7 minutes, 28 seconds, Grant turns to his team to lecture them on the possibility of a dinosaur-to-bird evolution. At 7 minutes, 50 seconds, Grant states that the word raptor means bird of prey. At 7 minutes, 54 seconds, a bratty child voices his opinion that his skeleton looks more like a 6-foot turkey. At 7 minutes, 58 seconds, Grant turns to scowl at the brat. And thus ends minute number 7 of Jurassic Park. There's something about this scene that's always bothered me, and it is when Dr. Grant goes to touch the tail on the raptor on the monitor that he's pointing at. The first time, he definitely makes contact with it, but the second time, he reaches up to touch the top of the machine, and before he touches it, the screen goes scrambled. This is before his hand even hits it, and it bothered me then, and it bothers me now, that they've got somebody off camera that has to manipulate this thing to make sure it screws up whenever he touches it. The first time, they did it great. The second time, not so much.
If you hold your hand close enough to like rabbit ears over a TV, it can kind of fuck with it.
That's a good point. But for this one, it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's always bothered me. It's stupid stuff like that sticks out to me in a movie. The fact that there's dinosaurs around and dinosaurs are extinct didn't bother me so much, but the fact that he can't touch the monitor at the right time really bothers me. So, but Ellie does say that Dr. Grant is not machine compatible, and that was a phrase that was used a lot back around in 1993. That people were not machine compatible. You would hear that from people like, I just don't do computers. I'm not machine compatible.
That was probably around the time that computers were becoming like a common household thing.
It really was, yeah. And this is like, I think we got our first computer around maybe a couple of years after Jurassic Park came out. Because I remember asking,
it was like an IBM,
IBM PS1, and I remember asking the guy, "Does this have silicon graphics? Can it do silicon graphics with it?" And he was like, "What?" Yeah. It's like, I don't know, kid. I'm just here working at the place that sells computers. I don't know what silicon graphics is.
What are silicon graphics?
Silicon Graphics was the computer company that made the computers that were used to render the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Really?
Silicon is a word, of course. It's a it was used a lot around then because silicon's made part of computer chips and stuff like that. So Silicon Graphics was one of the companies that made computers that were used in the development of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. So, but to me as a 14-year-old, I thought Silicon Graphics meant a computer you can edit movies on and stuff like that. Like, I want to make my own dinosaurs. Is this a Silicon Graphics computer? No, kid, it's an IBM. You'll get King's Quest 5 on it. Okay, shut up.
Hell yes.
Yeah, that was a great one. It was an awesome one. So the scientific consensus that birds are a group of theropod dinosaurs that evolved during the Mesozoic era. So we get a lot of the evolution talk in this one, which is another one of the theories that had been around for a long time, but was really pushed forward in this movie, that birds dinosaurs evolved into birds. So, but I think that was the first time I had ever heard about something like that. Was the first time for you as well?
Yeah, no, it really was. And it's one of those things that I can remember even at like 8 years old, thinking this movie has entirely too much.
Was there too much science in it for you?
No, not enough. There were too many like I don't want to say philosophical, but like it wasn't just dinosaurs chasing people.
Yeah,
which I think a lot of other people would have just done that. They would have turned out the thing that they knew was going to make the most money, and not included. Ideas like this, a movie that takes the time to deliver ideas like this, and then, of course, as we're going to see the movie, the last thing we see in the movie is Grant looking out the window of the helicopter at the birds, at his idea, his philosophy that he's introduced to the world and to his trade, the fact that dinosaurs evolved into birds. And
because the prevailing theory from that time was that dinosaurs evolved into smaller reptiles, right? Alligators, like lizards, geckos, things like that.
standing upright with their tails dragging on the ground, things like that.
Yeah, because all depictions of dinosaurs we had at that point where they were scaly, giant lizards. So it's up until that point, that's what we thought they would evolve into. So somebody comes along and is like, no, it has more in common with like a barnyard chicken or something like that. It sounded crazy talk, but then this movie really put forward. They modeled the way the dinosaurs moved after birds, and when you see it on screen, it makes total sense to think like, okay, the way that a raptor moves in this movie being a lot like the way a chicken or a duck would move. For some reason, it makes sense in this movie, So, a close relationship between birds and dinosaurs was first proposed in the 19th century after the discovery of a primitive bird, Archaeopteryx, in Germany. Birds share many unique skeletal features with dinosaurs. Moreover, fossils of more than 20 species of dinosaur have been collected with preserved feathers. So that's a lot. 20 species of dinosaurs with feathers preserved. There are even very small dinosaurs such as a Microraptor and an Anacarnis, which have long, veined arms and legs with feather-forming wings. The Jurassic basal avian Petadonia also shows these long foot feathers. Whitmer in 2009 concluded that this evidence is sufficient enough to demonstrate that avian evolution went through a four-winged stage. So, it's easy to look at the evidence conveyed by this movie and conveyed by scientists that are much smarter than us and say, yeah, birds are evolved from dinosaurs.
Right. I know a lot of people probably would have had a problem if they... I don't know why, man, but some people probably would have had a problem with our dinosaurs in this movie running around with feathers on, and I guess it's
it
because
would look
it looks
a little silly. I think
a little less threatening, maybe. But
well, in this movie too, and it's stated in Jurassic World, and I think it's one of the things that I really like about the movie that these aren't dinosaurs; they are mutants, which are crossed with like frogs that gives them the ability to breathe. So the idea that like they don't have feathers on them because they are part frog or part lizard and they had their genes spliced. I can agree. I can get along with that.
I think the engineers of these dinosaurs would have intentionally engineered them to have scales instead of feathers because that's what people think is cooler. People expect a giant lizard chasing after them instead of a giant bird.
Possibly.
And so I think that's part of why Dr. Wu might have gone that direction. If he even had the idea to do that.
They give themselves this great writing out, which is that this stuff has been manipulated by scientists so much that they don't have to explain, well, why don't the dinosaurs have feathers on them? Well, it's because, we decided that they didn't look cool with feathers, so we took the feathers out.
Right.
They can get away with that if they want to. So, well, that's all I've got for minute number 7. You got anything else?
Yes, I do.
Oh, yeah. Let me hear it.
So the computer technician is a actor named Christopher John Fields who pops up here and there and things. You see him in a lot of David Fincher stuff. He had a small part in The Game and a small part in Fight Club. It was kind of funny in that. And
love The Game.
Right here at the end of the minute, we got everybody's favorite little bratty child.
That doesn't look very scary.
Man, does he play that part well.
Yeah, he doesn't have a name. I don't think the character has a name, but he's played by a guy named Whit Hertford.
Yeah, Whit Hertford. Yeah, I've seen him he was in a lot of other stuff around the time as well, wasn't he?
Let me tell you, man, he plays the shit out of this part. Like, he plays a bratty kid perfectly.
The hell is he doing there?
Yeah, shouldn't he be in school?
Yeah.
Maybe this was a summer thing or
I'm
something.
guessing so. Maybe he interned with his parents. Yeah. He's maybe out there getting water for the scientists or something like that. But yeah, such a little brat. I've never known anyone who was enough of a sociopath as a child to go up and say something like that to a scientist.
So, man, that Whit Hertford turned in a hell of a performance.
Yeah, he really
this
did.
Day, I'm like, so he...
Yeah, the anger seeing that kid on screen. Yeah,
this day.
Whit did a fantastic job with that.
I think I have something wrong with me.
All right, we got anything else this minute?
That's it for me.
That's it for me as well. Folks, thank you so much for joining us today for Jurassic Park Minute. Come back tomorrow for our Thursday episode. We will have minute number 8 for you. So I'm Kyle.
I'm Brady.
And until next time, hold on to your butts.
Jurassic Park Minute is a fan-supported podcast. If you like the podcast, then leave us a review on iTunes. You can contact us at JurassicParkMinute@gmail.com and visit us online at JurassicParkMinute.com, Facebook.com/JurassicParkMinute, and Twitter.com/JurassicMinute.